Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4.
Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be doing my top 10 reads of 2022. That's better. So I'm going to start with some honouring mentions because these guys were so close to being in my top 10, but other ones just hit me a bit more. So obviously I had a reread this year. My Harry Potter series has got to be mentioned. If I didn't, it could have just taken the whole top 10, but you know, it's an honorary mention. Same as the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. Love that one, really good. Enjoyed the series as a whole. Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune is another one you mention. Absolutely beautiful story, adored it, become one of my favourite authors of all time. Daisy Jones and the Six is in there as well. You know, Taylor Jenkins Reid, her books just hit slightly different, they just seem so realistic, so that one's in there. And so is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Again, I love that one. It is a hard story to read, you know, some tough topics, but it was a good one as well. So honorary mentions aside, let's get into our top 10. So in at number 10 I have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I feel like I'm not. So this is the first book in this trilogy. Absolutely love this book. The story is just so beautiful. The writing is beautiful. As someone who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community myself, it's so nice to be able to read stories that focus on these topics, you know, and discuss them. So it's really such a nice story, and the characters are just so lovable as well. Yes, they have their issues. Who doesn't have their issues? So yeah, I absolutely loved that one, adored it. In at number 9 I have The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I hope I'm saying his name right. Absolutely, again, lovely story. It is written obviously within a time that was a very tough time for a lot of people, and it was very rough for the whole world. You know, no one wants to be in that situation. And the way he's written this story was just so beautiful, and the character as well, to see the difficulties that they go through, and how they just find love in hard times. And I'm not on about, you know, that kind of love. I'm on about, you know, someone who's had forced to leave her home and be with new people, and they've found a relationship that suits them and fits them. I just love it. First time reading this book, it'd been on my AT buy list for so long, and I'm so grateful that I read it this year. In at number 8 is The Song of Achilles. Again, another beautiful story. Someone who loves mythology, we all know this by now, so I loved just retelling of the story. And again, LGBTQ plus community represented in ancient times. You know, you can't go wrong, can you? Really, let's be honest. But yeah, no, again, it's another really beautiful story. A bit emotional, a little bit, not like crazy, but there's just points where it like sort of hits you a little bit. But yeah. Number 7 is the Caravel series. I put the whole series here at number 7 because I absolutely fell in love with this series. This has become one of my favourite series of all time. So Stephanie Garber has become one of my favourite authors. I have her other series to read yet. I haven't read it yet. I've got the 2 books, but I'm waiting. I don't know why, but I am. But I hopefully will reach into that series in next year. But yeah, I absolutely loved the characters, The story development was really well done, and spaced out quite well throughout the series. Each book you solved a different mystery, and the ending hit me. The very last book was a bit like, why? But yeah, again, loved it. In at number 6 is 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo. Loved this story. Absolutely beautifully written. It's another one with an LGBTQ plus representation in there. I didn't even realise how many of those I actually have in this in this list. But yeah, again, love the story. And it's again with Taylor Jenkins Reid. She writes her books so realistic that makes you want to like search up these characters, even though they're not real. They're not real people, but they feel so real, and that's just how good her writing is that it makes the stories just seem so realistic, even though it's not. So absolutely become one of my favourite authors. There's a couple other books that are a bit hit and miss for me, but on a whole, can't go wrong. Number 5 I have, and this was probably one of my, like, it's number 5, it's in the top 5, The Silent Patient by, I don't want to say his name wrong. Michaelides. I just had to make sure I said his name right. Absolutely loved this book. The build up, the tension, the story. Like, I had no idea what was gonna happen and how. Like, loved this book, adored it. And then in at number 4, kind of along the same lines, is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Smashed out the park with this book. It was written so well, the tension building, the characters. Like, I am team manuscript at the moment. I haven't read the extra chapter in the collector's edition book, the special edition. Apparently when you read that, it changes your point of view and changes what team you're on, so I'm gonna be interested to see. So I hope in the new year I'm going to do a reread of it with the new chapter and get an idea and a feel for whether or not I change teams. It will be interesting. But yeah, now into my top 3, and at number 3 I have the second book in this duology. It's Aristotle and Dante Dive into the waters of the world. It helps if I can speak English. Again, absolutely adored this book. The characters still, like, the further development for not just the story but the characters is just, again, beautiful writing, beautiful. I don't know what else I can say about this book other than read it if you haven't. So yeah. In at number 2 I have The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. Ruth Ozeki was a new author for me this year, and this book was probably the perfect book to start off with if you're going to read her books. I haven't read any more yet. I've just read this one, but they are on my TBR list. But this book was just so beautifully written, and it's such a emotional book as well. Like, I got emotional. Like, I was almost in tears at the end. There was a few, like, runaway tears after reading this book. But this writing, story, characters, just all so amazing and so beautifully done. I literally fell in love with the little boy. And I just wanted to, like, scoop him up in my arms and just cradle him and cuddle him because my heart was just breaking for him. But yeah, definitely 10 out of 10 recommend reading this book if you haven't. And if you haven't read any Ruth Ozeki, please do start with this book. It is amazing. And in at number 1 is a story that really not changed my life, but really just changed perspectives and stuff. I mean, I've always been quite an open-minded person, very accepting, but this book just opens your eyes more, I think, personally. Don't know who everyone else has read this book thinks of it, but this is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Like I said, he has become one of my top-down favourite authors of all time. The rest of his book are on my TBR. Books are on my TBR, and I cannot wait to read more of his books and more of his writing. But the characters in this one and the story is just so well done, and the characters are all so different and all have their own little quirks that just make them who they are, and makes them so lovable. And I absolutely adored reading this book. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was so happy with the ending, them all coming together, and it was just beautifully done. And I really want to read more of them characters. Like, I'm so sad that that's where of the end that it ended. I just want to read more of them. I want to go back into that world, just escape this world. So yeah, that is my top 10 reads of 2022. So of all the books that I read this year, and I've read 200 so far. I'm filming this on the 16th of December. I've read 225 books, and those are my top 10, my honorary mentions. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what your top 10 reads are, or your top 5, whatever. Just let me know your favourite books that you've read in 2022. And if there's any that I haven't mentioned, let me know. I can put them on my TBR if I haven't read them. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.